You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 137. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Superman's pal, Jeff Barnhart.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus many other cool podcasts like The All New Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Superhero Speak at rhymeswithgeek.com. You can also find our show at backissueheroes.com, the home of classic comics on the web. And, and you know what? Jeff and I really want to hear from you. So email us at comic.reflections@gmail.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad to hear from people.
Yeah. You know, before we start the show today, Jeff, I think it's important to note today is Stan Lee's 92nd birthday.
Wow.
So, happy birthday and many happy returns, Stan.
Yeah, he's controversial, but he's still a giant in comicdom.
He is. He really is. Of course, so now we're going to talk about some DC comics.
Yeah. Well, okay. Stan would understand.
I think he would. So yes, let's begin with Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 54. And the lead story is called Lois Lane, Cupid.
Man, what a good one.
Yeah, no credit on the writer, but art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is one of the best stories. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Lois Lane has this great idea of making... All right. She's in rivalry with Lana Lang.
Yeah.
So she wants Lana to think that Clark is Superman. So she plants clues to fool Lana into thinking he's Superman. The irony is he really is Superman.
But I love it. So she'll get Lana out of the way by getting and get rid of the dud Clark.
Yeah.
At the same time, and then she has a clear path to Superman. Which is completely insane, because never mind that what if Superman decided he wanted somebody else in the whole world? He is probably the world's most desirable bachelor.
Yeah, but
it's Arkham Asylum crazy, okay? It really is.
Yeah.
So
well, it does say on the comic book that Lois Lane is Superman's girlfriend, so
yeah. Except he can't exactly be the most loyal beau if he's like not committing, and also spending time with Lana too.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Superman,
yeah,
two-timing superhero.
Right. Oh man. So Lois planned some fake classes where Clark was sitting.
Right.
And she's doing his laundry. Well,
what?
She tells Lana she's doing Clark's laundry,
mm-hmm.
and drops a bit of kryptonite in their lead box.
Yeah.
So Lana is convinced.
So because the lead box is what can keep Superman safe from kryptonite,
mm-hmm.
and the fake glasses would be like, oh, he doesn't even need glasses.
Yeah. And then they got Superman goes in the future.
She wasn't doing his laundry. She was having his stuff taken to dry cleaners.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's different.
Okay.
Okay. Superman goes to the future?
Yeah. And then Lois finds out about it, so she writes up on a futuristic
news headline
saying that Lana married him.
Right. And it's a fake. But she talked to the guy on the printing press for the Daily Planet, and it's a gag they made up.
Right.
And
she
it's a foolie.
Yeah, and she lets Lana find it. So,
mm-hmm.
Oh goodness. So oh well. So I don't know how does Superman figure it out? Oh, he knows what's going on in the first place.
Yeah.
And then she tells Lois that he is Superman, that he is Clark. Which was
right,
and which is really cool. And then Lois, oh no, I lost Superman and Clark. Then Lana finds out about it, and
she gets mad.
She gets mad because it's all a ploy. Because Superman was touring with her or something.
Right.
So
which he does.
So
he messes with Lana pretty hard.
Yeah, well, she messes with him.
Yeah.
She started it.
Okay.
So now both of them Lana and Lois are friends, and they're angry at all men, and Superman says, "Woman, bah." What a great intricate story. It's very well done.
Yeah.
Man.
So let's talk about the first of, I think, 2 backup stories in this issue. This one is great. It's called Lois Lane, Daily Planet Editor. And, excuse me, it's written by Leo Dorfman, and it's surprisingly good, because Dorfman's one of the worst. But art penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by George Klein. It's that super duper classic Superman art team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. So it is Metropolis Annual Ladies' Day, where the girls take over the guys' jobs.
yeah. Boy. There's so many things I could say. I think I'll say none of them.
Yeah, it was a different time, and
Yeah.
it's not fair to judge different times by our standards. It's because in the future, who knows what we're doing wrong?
I know. We're interpreting it through our modern lens and
Yeah.
saying how sexist, how terrible. But I think you got to bring that up and also acknowledge that at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
That it's a different era.
I don't know.
Because I think
50 years from now, oh, you step on ants? How cruel! Who knows
whatever.
what
Who
we're
knows?
doing? So,
But very good. But I think it's important to acknowledge, the difference and see how far we've come.
yeah.
And this is harmless and it's fun. So,
All right. So Perry promised Lois that she could be an editor for a day on her birthday, and he forgot about it. And here it comes. So she is a hard ass.
yeah,
She makes Jimmy count thousands of dollars worth of nickels
for like a charity thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then she tries to capture Clark, or she thinks, okay, now she thinks Clark is Superman. So
Really?
well, sometimes she doesn't.
Right.
In the last one, she didn't. So it changes. So Clark has got to finagle being at 2 different places at one time, and it's yeah. She really wants to betray, but she couldn't. She wants to find out, but she would not betray him, which is kind of cool of Lois.
Yeah. She wants to find out he's Superman, doesn't want to betray Superman.
Yeah.
So she wants to find out just for herself.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay. So one of the clever things is she sends him to rescue a sub, which was being run by the admiral's wife, and they got into trouble, which is one of the most absurd things ever.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they may let a seaman do it, but they're not going to let an admiral's wife or anybody's wife.
No. Yeah, it's crazy. So what is it? Superman uses a crazy form of super ventriloquism.
Yeah, it goes off Telstar, which is brand new then.
Yeah.
There's a song Telstar as well.
Is there?
Yeah, and really cool beach music, or it's surf music, I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's all instrumental, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's by like, oh gosh, like not this. I'm butchering it because I can remember, but I'm like the Ventures or somebody like that. The Shadows, probably the Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that music. So.
It is cool. No, the Shadows were neat.
But okay, so he balances his super ventriloquism, and even though sound waves do not travel through space, his super ventriloquism can for short distances.
Because he's Superman, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Telstar still a satellite in outer space, or did it?
Probably not.
Okay.
So Superman is able, using the super ventriloquism, to give a play-by-play while he's rescuing a submarine. And he just takes it takes it out of the water. That's just great.
Yeah.
Good for you, Soups. Okay. All right, so there's another scoop for this escape criminal. Man, escape criminals.
It's just a convenient plot device.
Yeah, but Lois figures out that the escape criminal is angry at Jimmy, so he might go to Jimmy's apartment and wait for him. Lois goes there and gets ambushed, and is saved by Clark Kent, who was shot 3 times.
And Clark even punches a guy.
Yeah,
which is great.
So, but he's got he's in Jimmy's apartment, so he knows that Jimmy has a super Superpower serum. Man, wouldn't you like a bottle of that?
Jimmy has all kinds of serums. He's got the Wolfman serum. He's got the Elastic Lad serum.
Mm-hmm. I'll take any of them.
Yeah.
So Clark,
Mm-hmm.
as Clark, flies him back, and Lois was going to have this big scoop about it, but she puts on the back page because Clark saved her instead of Superman.
And how embarrassing.
Yeah. And then Clark, using his vision, is able to find two 1913 Liberty Head nickels.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a thing. I didn't look it up. It was $7,000 a piece, which is 7,000. I don't know, probably up 50, 100,000 now.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking like, was this around 1960 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Ish. That's crazy. Crazy
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. So, and Lois takes it like a man. I mean, she said, "Well, I didn't do so hot." So, and she takes off her sign from the editor's door.
Yeah.
A good cheer, I think. So,
Yeah.
okay.
It's still kind of like putting woman in her place kind of thing, though, you know?
Yeah. Ooh. Let's see. We have a giant Superman.
How sad.
Yep. Hyper menace from Krypton. Creature with 1,000 disguises. What is that?
I don't know.
The thing that stalked Smallville. Monster X. Bizarro Superman and Bizarro Lois Lane. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I love those 80-page giants. Those are really loads of fun. So the third and last story in this issue is The Monster Who Loved Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And this is written by Edmund Hamilton with art by Kurt Schaffenberger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Edmund Hamilton was a terrific science fiction writer. One of the best guys to come out of the pulps. And he wrote a lot of the really great Superman stories as well. Now this one is kind of light, but it's high on tropes of pulpy science fiction.
And it shows, okay, Lois looks through this device to another dimension, and a monster comes out, and the monster falls in love and causes chaos.
Yeah.
Superman can't defeat him.
I think it's a cool looking monster. It's kind of
Not bad.
cartoony looking, but it works.
Right. It has tentacles for arms, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
but
ape
it's like
face.
hairy like an ape, but each arm is just one long tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sweet, and there's the few panels where you see him fighting Superman are pretty great.
Yeah. They figure out how to send him back to the whatever
The other dimension,
Yeah.
because he was causing a lot of damage, even though he didn't mean to.
All right.
And they had Lois lead it into the other dimension, and she thought she was going to sacrifice herself and not be trapped there.
Mhm.
But then Superman used super breath to suck her back through the portal,
Exactly.
and
I
leave
know-
the monster all alone.
Yeah, that's sad. It shows Lois in a good light.
It does.
She's a little bit afraid of the monster, but she learns to like him. She realizes the monster cannot stay here. She leads him on, and she is sad that he is sad.
Mhm.
So,
And she was willing to sacrifice herself for the greater good,
right.
because the only person that could control it at all was her.
Yeah.
So
And
hey, right on. That's
Yeah.
good. You know, it's a nice contrast to a lot of stories where she's just so conniving, and
right.
you know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, no conniving. Well, I guess she connived a little bit, but
Yeah.
for the greater good.
yeah. So
Oh boy.
oh boy, here it is, fun time for Jeff. Next we've got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 122, and this is a giant issue. It's got about 6 or 7 Jimmy stories reprinted from previous issues, and yeah, let's just dig right in.
Yeah.
It's the first one is called A Date with Miss Metropolis,
Oh.
originally from Jimmy Olsen, number 27, written by Otto Binder, with art by Kurt Swan, pencils, and Ray Burnley on inks.
Yeah. Jimmy is a jerk in this one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we'll see that as a recurring theme.
Right. And he gets his comeuppance. I mean,
Yeah.
he's good at heart, but man, it's
Man,
Alright.
Jimmy's shallow.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, he is flawed, but most of us are.
But here's the thing: don't you think these Jimmy's being a jerk stories, and then he gets it to the end, are kind of like good moral lessons, kind of?
Right.
You know, don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
But Anyway.
Okay, so he hears people talking about, hey, who's going to talk to the Miss Metropolis? He says, oh, well, I'll go talk to a beauty queen.
Yeah, like
But
interview her for the paper.
yeah,
But he doesn't know that they changed the criteria for the Miss Metropolis. He thinks it was going to be a beauty queen, and this girl was the girl with the highest IQ. And so she's a nerd.
yeah. I mean, she wears glasses, she has buck teeth, but she's not that bad looking.
No, she's not. I mean, like, I'd be like, okay, you know.
She is taller than him, and that's
Yeah.
I wouldn't care about that, but a lot of people do. And,
Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, but,
yeah.
better than a dwarf, so.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, she is not bad looking at all.
So what did Frank say in From Here to Eternity? Acres and acres. He's talking about his tall girlfriend, and he's
right.
short. So, great movie, by the way.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you should. Let's see. So Jimmy's in trouble. Okay, Jimmy receives a call from her while he's watching TV, and someone on the TV says, "Will you marry me?" or something like that.
And she thought it was him.
Has this ever happened in the history of the world? I have never mistaken something on TV for a human being talking.
Here's the thing. Anything's possible with Jimmy Olsen.
That's
Any
true.
crazy old thing can happen to Jimmy Olsen.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Okay. So he finds himself engaged, and he's so-
what do I do to get out of it? So but he's working on it. He hatches a plan, or multiple plans, really.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. And everybody at the I think people feel sorry for him at the planet. So,
do they?
yeah. Because I don't know, Lois goes, congratulations.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but they go bowling, and the girl uses her.
They go on a double
date
with Lois and Clark.
and the girl uses her super mind to figure out how to bowl, and she bowls perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Clark has his mind on the girl, and Jimmy, and he is bowling perfectly. He never has done that before, so he pretends like he's using the same system,
Right.
which is pretty cool.
That's so funny. I remember we read a 70s Superman story where Clark was like bowling bad on purpose. He had to try to suck at something,
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jimmy takes her to a dance. They dance, and people make fun of him because she's taller than he is. And then she's really good dancer.
Yeah.
So they leave, and they get into they're getting in the middle of a gunfight.
They walk through one
Right.
between a cop and some crook.
And the girl figures out how to save the day by ricochets.
Yeah.
So, okay, I love this.
What?
Jimmy buys a ring for her, so he has to. So he buys a cheap imitation, and then he puts a price tag for a real one. And
Oh, yeah.
Superman's flying by. Oh, he does it so she'll get mad at him.
Right.
So Superman flies. Oh no, Jimmy's got swindle. So he makes a diamond and a real one and puts it in the ring. Oh.
The downside of being Superman's pal.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so she's even more smitten than ever. But then here's the turn.
Yeah, this English genius comes and proposes to her, and she says, "Oh, we'll make lots of money doing it this way."
Doing game shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she decides to jilt Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that. Turns out the English genius was Jimmy in disguise.
Yeah.
He just was wearing like stilts and changed his outfit and stuff, and so she's waiting for a guy who it doesn't exist.
Right.
But Jimmy got rid of her, but got her to dump him.
Yeah, I was.
It's super crummy of him, though.
I think so. Serves her right for being so fickle and money hungry. Oh, okay. She was fickle, and she was kind of money hungry. But then women have to take care of kids. They have, and
Well, they might.
Well, they might. Biologically, this is what they're made for, and
Right.
they
Seeking security is a thing.
exactly.
You know.
And they don't have to be super billionaires. They want them and their kids to be secure, have food and a house over
Yeah.
their roof. And so that is not a bad thing. That is a good thing. You
Okay.
can become too greedy. Maybe she was a little too greedy, but I don't know. I like nerd girls. That's why it really.
I do too. They're nice.
Okay.
So,
Jimmy gets his comeuppance this time, though.
this next story is called Jimmy Olsen, Freak. And it's a reprint from Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 59. Written by Leo Dorfman. Penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by George Klein.
Okay, here's another thing we got. Of a boy being in love with a girl who is mean. Lucy Lane is mean and nasty. And,
Yeah.
And she treats Jimmy like crap.
She makes Veronica Lodge seem like a nice girl.
Right. Jimmy goes to her apartment. There's a line of guys with expensive gifts, and all he has is a pound of chocolates, which isn't that bad.
No. But then she rubs it in his face like a pound of chocolate.
A mere pound of chocolates. Okay. So he dreams of buying a ring, and you see them in the future giving the ring to her, and she's smiling.
He's eating a bagged lunch so he can save money for that.
Right.
But then a spaceship lands.
And a beautiful girl comes out. I like her hairstyle. It's short, but it is very modern.
Yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm. Unlike Lois Lane's.
Yeah, which is just frumpo-delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, but the space babe is in love with Jimmy. Go figure.
Yeah, she gives him this groovy belt.
You can press a jewel and you fly and
We turn invisible. He's got all these powers from this belt.
Man. Alright, so she's in love with him. They want to get married. They go to a masquerade ball, which I've never gone.
Right.
And everyone said, wow, who's a dish with Jimmy?
Yeah.
Including Lucy, who's getting jealous.
Right. Why are you jelly, Lucy?
Okay.
Sorry.
That's and they're already betrothed.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks kind of. So Jimmy's walking along and he meets 4 guys in space suits.
Yeah.
And they're husbands
To the gal from space.
So
she must have neglected to tell him that,
polyandry is legal in her neck of the woods.
Yeah. And so they use their space belt powers to make Jimmy inflate him like a balloon and make his ears and his tongue grow really long and grow his hair really.
He's a hippie monster.
Yeah. He looks crazy, yeah.
Yeah. His tongue is hanging out to the middle of his chest.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
What's such a thing about it, Jimmy Olsen's, is they're so square and such crazy stuff happens, and it's just a weird dichotomy.
Yeah.
And it's,
I like it. And of course, after Jimmy's been turned into the freak, as in the title of the story, he uses his signal watch, Z, 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 Z,
yeah.
and Superman comes, and then what happens?
Well, one thing, we lose all color.
Oh.
It's kind of odd.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that. Yes, it's just a plating error. The color separation, they didn't add the. It's only the blue. It doesn't have the yellow or the red.
Okay, so
those 2 panels.
Superman knows. Okay, Superman knows her husbands, and so Superman fixes things by bringing 2 old hags. Oh, these are my wives. I forgot to tell you about them.
Oh, as for Jimmy to play off that they're his wives.
Right.
And then the space girl goes back to space and says, what? She's not into it. And then they take off the masks, and it's Lois and Lana.
Yeah, she's from Sunev, which is Venus backwards.
Oh. Okay.
I just realized that.
Oh, okay. And then Lucy wants a date with Jimmy, and he's just like telling her, maybe.
Don't call me, I'll call you. Oh, and she's besotted with him. Oh,
Yeah, it's swooning. Man,
yeah. Okay.
that Lana or Lucy Lane is fickle.
Yeah, indeed.
Man.
What's up with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, speaking of Lucy Lane, here's another story. It's The Girl Who Was Lucy Lane's Double, which is a reprint from Jimmy Olsen, number 60, written by Robert Bernstein, and penciled by Kurt Swan, inked by George Klein.
Okay, we have a cameo by Streaky the Super Cat.
Yay!
And Streaky is almost captured by the dog catcher, which is... I have never seen... I know there's dog catchers, never seen one. Especially
It's
not
not
with
a-
that little net.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not a real job anymore. I mean, there are still animal control, but there's a big shift because there was a time in this country when there was lots and lots of strays, and that was a far bigger problem than it is now.
Really? I thought it was a big problem now, so it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it waxes and wanes, but there was a serious problem. That's why that was a real job, a dog catcher.
Okay. So, alright. Streaky is really freaked out, so she goes so fast she goes back in time.
Through the time barrier.
Right.
Yeah. And so Jimmy uses his bejeweled belt that he got from his almost wife from the last story.
And follows him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Streaky is male or female.
I don't know either. We'll just use...
I don't know if Crypto is male. I
Crypto
assume
is male.
Oh, because he has gone out with... Well,
Yeah.
it says the 50s and 60s.
But Streaky, I'm assuming is female, but I have no confirmation of that.
I don't know.
We can use gender-neutral terminology for example.
Cats are always feminine, dogs are masculine. And that's the cultural trope. So.
Yeah. So Jimmy goes through the time barrier, and I always love how it's illustrated when you go through the time barrier. It's great.
Yeah,
like concentric rings that you go through.
That's
so anyway.
neato Kina. So they're in Puritan, New England.
Yeah.
And he finds some clothes, and he is attacked by wolves. He gets rid of the wolves by
he uses a button on his belt to repel them, which is great.
Invisible repeller ray. Man.
Man.
So he is. So he's going to town, and this
It's even better than Brainiac 5's belt, which just turns on his force field.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And he sees a girl who looks like Lucy Lane.
Yeah.
And her initials are LL.
Of course.
It's, Lucinda Lawrence. So she is about to be dumped. So
For being a witch or something, or suspected of being a witch.
Mhm.
Okay.
So Jimmy takes her place, and he uses the gets a force field from his belt, and he stays under there for about an hour. And they bring him up, and he's alive. So
Yay.
Lucinda brings him back home and cooks and does his laundry and really nice. And they're going to get apparently they're going to get married.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah. So Jimmy sees Streak by. So he's sweeping at a time. So he flies up after her with his broom in his hand. It looks like he's riding a broom.
Right, but it's really just the belt.
Yeah, then he gets a black cat, and he thinks that's Streaky, but it's not.
You like just slipped from the chimney.
So the townspeople, of course, think he's a witch, which is a reasonable supposition of that time.
Yeah.
Actually, I would think so now.
Right. So they put him on trial.
Mm-hmm. And
the trial's a farce. Surprise.
Right. Yeah. So they put him in stocks, and they want to. And Lucinda frees him. So then she says, she is a witch. And,
Whoa.
Yeah. So,
Lucinda takes Jimmy's belt.
Yeah.
But she's able to send him back to the time barrier.
It was kind of a weird... I mean, it ends quick.
Yeah.
And it just goes back. So, Lucinda is a witch. And Lucy is a witch with a B.
Right. And Jimmy finds an old book about Salem witches, and there's Lucinda. But here's the thing. that's the end of that cool magic belt with all the powers.
Yeah.
And like we read 2 stories of that, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of cool story possibilities with that. But at the same time, it could be like, oh, it's just the problem, solve every problem with that belt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I would have liked to have some more stories with that, but what can you do?
Okay.
So here we go with another Jimmy Olsen story. This is Jimmy Olsen, Wolfman. This is a reprint from Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 52. Written by Jerry Siegel. Penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by Stan K. So, Mr. Mxyzptlk is in town. That irascible imp from the 5th dimension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So, he is on the lam from... I've totally forgotten how to pronounce her name.
Oh, his girlfriend, Miss Gizpitliznez.
I thought it'd be Gizpitliznez. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. But his girlfriend, Gizzy, let's call her. Something. And he doesn't like her, even though she's her girlfriend. So
yeah, I always wondered about that. Like, I don't think Superman really thinks Lois is his girlfriend, and I don't think if you don't want to be with them, you can't be considered theirs. You know what I mean?
I think at the time he wasn't.
Okay.
But then in the 70s he became girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever.
Well, I'm referring a little more to Mxyzptlk here, but
okay.
But you know what I mean?
Well. Yeah, I
don't know. Okay.
Okay.
So, but he sees Mxyzptlk sees Jimmy and Lucy together, and Mxyzptlk is smitten with Lucy.
He brings Lucy an emerald the size of a hubcap. It is so cool.
And she's creeped out like, Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, I've been warned about you.
So Mxyzptlk spies on Jimmy.
And he sees a Wolfman potion and forces Jimmy to drink it.
Right.
But Jimmy realizes what he's done, and then he calls Superman and says, "Oh, you got to kiss a pretty girl." So,
yeah.
Okay.
So Jimmy uses his signal watch to. I love that, to call Superman. But so because there was another Jimmy as a Wolfman story, and he needed a kiss from a girl to cure it. So he does.
So Miss X kisses him, and Miss X, of course, is Supergirl.
At this time, her existence was not yet revealed to the world. She was Superman's secret weapon. But yeah, so Jimmy gets a kiss from Supergirl, and nothing happens.
Right. Superman knows it's dark, but Superman knows nothing happened because he has infrared vision.
Yeah.
So they get all kinds.
So Superman talks Lois into giving him a kiss, and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Lucy gives him a kiss.
Yeah.
And
no dice. Then Lori Lamaris, the mermaid.
Right.
And then Lana.
Yeah.
Lana in her nightie, because they show up at her house like,
And then whoa there, Wolfman Olsen. My kiss will absolutely positively save you.
And it's Miss Gizpitliznez.
Right.
Mxyzptlk's sort of girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what actually happened was Mxyzptlk switched one of them switched the Wolfman potion with regular water, and then just used their magic to turn him into the Wolf Boy.
Oh, okay.
Were you confused?
Yes, I was.
Okay. I can't remember which one did which switch, but...
Yeah, Mix did that.
Yeah.
But when Mix leaves, the magic is gone.
Right.
And
Jimmy tricks Miss Gizpitliznez into saying her name backwards.
No, he doesn't trick. She says it. All right, I'm going to go with my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
See ya.
And so...
Oh, Jimmy wants Lucy, he asked Lucy for a kiss, and she says, no, you had enough kisses to last you months.
Man, which I don't know if that's true, but dang.
You wolf.
Right?
Yeah.
But, okay, I have to say, as I was reading that, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
Jimmy's getting to kiss all these chicks, and they're all babes.
Right.
Because how many? Okay, it was Lucy, Lana, Lois, Lori Lamaris, and Supergirl.
Yeah.
5 chicks.
Did you get Lana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So Here we go, man.
This is a mean one.
It is. This is Jimmy the Soda Jerk, reprinted from Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 58, written by Robert Bernstein, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by George Klein. It is a mean one.
Yeah. Oh, I think
it was a good one, but it's mean.
Yeah. Jimmy the Soda Jerk.
As well as a regular
jerk. Yeah. And the cashier there weighs about 300 pounds. And she loves Jimmy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want anything to do with her.
She's a big, big woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rarer back then.
Yeah.
And it's kind of common now.
Yeah.
So, but
you know, your average Joe still has the same reaction to a woman that size.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Right. So Lucy Lane comes in and sees, hey, what you doing? And
Jimmy's like, don't blow my cover. I'm undercover.
Trying to find this counterfeiter.
Yeah.
And so she says, oh, all right. And she wants to see how he does it, so she becomes a sales clerk for the perfume and all, which is, finally, Lucy is being kind of cool and helpful.
Yeah.
Is this the first time?
that I've seen so far.
Yeah. Oh, she did kiss him, though, to make him...
To try to help, yeah.
Try to help the Wolfman thing, but... Well, you know, that's not so bad.
Right.
That's not washing the car and detailing.
Right.
Okay, so... Alright, so there's a weight and fortune machine there, and it gives these fortunes, and for some reason... Well, Jimmy's told to put the fortunes in the machine, and I don't know. It's kind of This part's kind of goofy because you find out that that's how the information about the counterfeiters' rendezvous are put out by this little card in the machine.
Right, and it tells you your weight and gives you a fortune. Now, there's a big fella who's in league with the counterfeiters, and you got to be a certain weight for it to give you the secret crime message.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the whole plot point.
Yeah, and the big guy likes the cashier. And
Elsie is her name.
Elsie.
Yeah.
And
that even sounds like a fat girl name.
Well, it's Elsie the cow. How old is Elsie the cow?
I don't know.
Borden milk?
I don't know.
Oh, Elsie's been since the 40s.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
She was doing her helping out with the war effort back in them days. I've seen those ads.
I'm unfamiliar with this character, so.
It's Borden milk, and she is the spokes cow.
Spokes cow.
Right. It's one of the biggest milk production.
Slap a Jap, drink your milk. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the World War II context.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she has some kind of adventures. Oh, Streaky causes trouble. Oh wow, Crypto is brown.
Again, a color separation problem. Or a color mistake.
In 3 panels? So
it's a mistake, is what this.
He tries it. So Jimmy figures out it takes 300 pounds to get the correct note to come out. So him and Lucy are not heavy enough, so he calls Crypto to get a safe. Crypto sees it smells some hamburger and drops the safe, so that doesn't work. So he asks Elsie to get on the scales. She refuses, and he says, I'll give you a kiss for every pound you weigh. So that gets it.
Wow.
So he gets the note, and then the bad guy comes out with a gun. Lucy sprays perfume in his eyes.
Ow!
And Superman comes. So okay.
Superman is in like literally 1 panel of this story. 2. Excuse me.
Right. Alright, so Jimmy is sitting there with Elsie on his lap, giving him 303 kisses, I think it is, 308. And the criminal is there watching, Lucy's watching, Superman's watching. Everyone's having a good time except for the cult criminal.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. Kind of confused. Stupid premise. What a dumb way to get information.
Right. But yeah. So, the next story we've got is The Human Porcupine from Jimmy Olsen, number 65, written by Jerry Siegel, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by George Klein. And Miss Gizpiz Lizniz comes back,
Okay.
and she wants more of Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, this is the greatest story ever told. I love this.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Okay, I
It
did
is
enjoy
just-
it too, but... So,
Okay, so she likes Jimmy,
yeah,
and he's waiting for Lucy at the zoo. And let's see. Okay, so she wants him to marry her.
right,
Jimmy says no.
right.
So she makes Jimmy the next animal he sees, because they're at the zoo.
Right.
He will become.
Or he will become like.
Yeah.
And so,
He will resemble the first animal you meet.
so he closes his eyes as
And-
best he can.
And he's walking down, and he thinks, "Oh, I don't want to be a giraffe because that would look goofy." And so, "Oh, what about if I was a lion? Then girls would lionize me." I
Man.
love that.
Which is a term that we don't use anymore.
Well, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
But then he opens his eyes. It's a porcupine. So he's Porcupine Boy.
Yeah,
Right.
and he can shoot these, or the quills shoot off sometimes.
Yeah. Lucy doesn't like Porcupine Boy. Well, it'd be hard to get intimate with Porcupine Boy.
Right.
I think porcupines urinate on the quills to soften them when they're in the act of love.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes. Okay. So,
Uh,
well, they had to mate somehow. There
well,
would
right.
be-
I never thought about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
This is
never-
why I'm here. I think about these.
Thank
things.
you. Now that's in my mind.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Lucy runs to a balloon, and Jimmy follows. When he gets excited, he shoots off a quill, and the balloon falls. Superman comes.
Hot
by and
air
saves-
balloon.
Yeah.
Superman comes to save him.
Mhm. All right. So all right. Jimmy has to have the Gizzy say her name backwards. So they go into a Chinese restaurant. Very stereotypical Chinese thing.
Right.
It's custom for customers to wear Mandarin costumes while eating. You'd like?
I've never seen a hey, put on some stuff while you're gonna go eat. I'm paying you, pal. Like.
Oh, I think I put on a Vikings helmet at Excalibur.
Nice.
So stuff like that, and it's to get into the.
Sure.
So it was. I think that was it. I got a Viking helmet. I'm not sure how else I got it.
I haven't been to Excalibur. Is it like a medieval times, that restaurant?
Yeah.
Which has been in the movies. I saw
Mhm.
some movie where medieval times was featured. pretty heavily.
Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
That
Yes.
movie.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
A friend of mine went to a Japanese steakhouse where you sit around and the guys cuts your meat and cooks it in front of you.
Yeah.
And he was watching the guy, and he was talking, pidgin Chinese,
Oh.
and you like this and stuff like that. And my friend Mike looked and said, "Hey, you're Joe Clark. I went to high school with you. You're not You're not Japanese. You're Filipino." I says, "Hey, Mike." He loses the accent.
That's funny.
Oh, I got some of the details wrong, but the gist of it.
I'm
is
getting
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What a cool story.
yeah. So Jimmy and Lucy, or no, and Miss Gizpit Lizniz are eating Chinese food.
Yeah. And so cleverly, going to get the fortune cookie with her name backwards.
Right.
And it doesn't work because she's clever.
Right.
She's a lot smarter than Mix, I think.
Yeah.
And he caused all kinds of trouble. He destroys You ruined my egg roll, wonton soup, and egg foo young. Out. Well, that's the way the eggs roll.
So Jimmy goes back to the planet, and he shoots quills through Perry's cigar and through a nice photo that he was going to run in the paper, ruining it. And Perry gets white to get the heck out of here. So Jimmy joins the circus sideshow.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, great.
And then all the sideshow folks are jealous because he's like that becomes the top act.
Right.
So what does he do now?
He gets a tattoo
On his chest.
Yeah, with her name backwards, and she reads it, and she disappears. Yay!
And then it was a temporary tattoo, turns out.
Right.
So Jimmy washes it off, and then he realizes
the next creature he could have seen was a skunk.
Yeah, at the zoo, which is great. So one more story for this issue and episode. It's Jimmy Olsen's Viking Sweetheart. From Jimmy Olsen, number 69, written by Leo Dorfman, with art by John Forte. Or John Fort, I'm not sure.
Could be either one.
Yeah.
I think guy does 40 in times is Fort. But, I don't know.
It's probably Fort, because there's no accent on the end.
Right.
So.
Alright, so Jimmy takes the Jimmy Olsen fan club.
Man. What a sad group of kids.
I know, but but I would join. But they get to adventures with him, and and they see Jimmy Olsen. They will not see Superman.
Right, but I think Jimmy is known for he's Superman's pal, and he's a cub reporter. Okay, and you're his fan club, man. That's as lame as a Little Orphan Annie fan club.
But they have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and the Superman's fan club probably would not have as much fun.
Sure.
Because they have adventure because Jimmy Olsen's there.
Right.
So he brings them to a ski lodge, but Jimmy just wants Lucy Lane.
Right, because she's there with some guy who isn't him.
Yeah. Ron Baxter, the Olympic ski champion.
Okay.
Jimmy goes and there's a snow avalanche, and he finds a red-headed Viking girl.
Yeah.
She tells a story that she was lost and when they came here in a snowstorm and
hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So Jimmy thinks she was trapped in a state of suspended animation. He's like, "Here, I'll teach you how everything grooves nowadays and stuff, and we'll just hang out."
Yeah.
Turns out she's a robot. And Jimmy Olsen's fan club are controlling her by remote, which is so messed up.
Okay.
Really messed up.
Yeah. Oh, I think a fan club today of modern American male youths would think of something else to do with that.
I was going to make that joke later, but that's okay.
Yeah. Man. So she's a champion skier, and she makes Lucy really jealous.
Yeah.
Which is the entire plot. She meets Jackie Kennedy. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she's still Jackie Kennedy at this point.
Yeah. It's not Jackie O.
Yeah.
Jackie Kennedy gives her a replica of a Viking longboat, and what's her name? Holga. Holga leaves the boat on the plane. Lucy is a stewardess, and she's stewardizing Holga to her great chagrin.
Yeah.
So she takes a boat to the fan club, and she says, "Oh,
Lucy does,
and there's a robot."
So she knows what's up, and so she's able.
Oh no!
What?
She thinks that Jimmy did this.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't pick up on that.
She does now, and then she turns. She puts a button that said, "Treat Jimmy coldly."
Yeah, so Lucy turns the table on Jimmy, and so Jimmy gets jilted by the robot.
She realizes then that Jimmy thinks she's real. And he gives her Jimmy is giving her a jewelry, and Holga throws it away.
Wow.
So Lucy comes out and looks at the jewelry and see it's a letter to Holga saying, "You're really nice, but really love Lucy Lane."
Aww. And by the way, Jimmy is wearing Viking regalia.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's fantastic.
So they have a reunite. Jimmy and Lucy get together and share a passionate kiss, and that's nice.
They're going to get married.
Yay!
Maybe.
And so the fan club kid's like, well, I guess this robot's served its part. Time to dismantle it. A group of teenage boys would not dismantle a female robot.
Right.
So that's where I was going to go with that. That's the most far-fetched part of the story.
Indeed, it is. Oh, man. And we got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
All right. You are as repulsive as ever.
Aww.